Hi, and welcome everyone to Drone Power Concepts, where I build experimental drones. And I like to talk about other things as well, including 3D lab print style airplanes, which are quite difficult if you don't know what you're doing, or if you're not fortunate enough to have a printer and all of the filament directly from 3D lab prints to actually get the job done right. Now, my content is sort of a niche content. You know, I do experimental drones, I do EDF drones, I do experimental aircraft, things like that. And I know experimental is a term I'm using loosely, of course, because other people have done the same thing that I'm doing. And the thing that I'm doing differently is that I'm trying to apply myself to it 100%. And every once in a while, when I'm waiting for those really, really high-end expensive parts, which is what I was trying to avoid in the first place, I end up going and building an airplane. So basically what I'm working on right now is the A-10 Warthog, which is a beautiful plane, but it's not really what I typically do on this channel. Now, that's not to say that I don't like doing it or that it won't be cool to watch. But we've all seen me fly planes before. And I used to fly the big planes really, really well. And that wasn't a problem for me. It was the smaller warbirds that really kind of gave me the issues that I was dealing with. And at this point, I'm just basically trying to get a plane in the air that looks really cool, that I like. And that's the A-10 Warthog. So I started building it and ended up, so far we've got the body, we've got this wing done, it's got full ailerons, obviously ailerons, air brakes, flaps, it's going to have gear once the gear arrives. Basically everything that, you know, a growing A-10 would need. I've also been working on the other wing here, which is just about finished. And once it's done, I'm going to go ahead and get it painted. But I'm going to try and finish the finished paint work when everything is completed. I'm working on the rear elevator section and tail section of the aircraft. We already have our rims printed. All right, those are cool. Can't wait to actually put the TPU tires on those and actually have already planned for it. So the reason why I'm making this video is because it's hard to get an audience that wants to go, you know, oh, look, experimental EDF drones. There's not like a lot of people in the world that are going on YouTube and going EDF drone in the search bar. So it kind of makes it difficult to be seen. And there's a lot of content creators out there that go through the same process. They go through the same problems that I go through. Now, it's not to say that I'm not growing, you know, at all, because I am a little over 24,000 on the subscribers. But you would think that it would grow a lot quicker, especially if you're seeing an EDF drone. Like a drone internally bladed, it's going to actually end up evolving into something much, much bigger, which you've seen in the Shrike concept drone, which is the very large drone that I have. And the experimental blade design. This kind of thing is the kind of thing that most content creators avoid because it's not mainstream. It's not something that everyone's looking for. There's a problem with content creation where you hit this wall where people are, you know, your audience is looking for something really fast. They want to get that dopamine hit. And that's the problem. Because while you'll get the views on that, you won't necessarily get a long-standing subscriber unless the content's really, really good and the person really, really likes it. And that seems to be sort of something that we all deal with as content creators. And it can be an issue, especially when you put, you know, hours or days or even weeks into a build and then doing a video on it, and you get almost no views at all. Eventually it picks up, but when the right people see it. But you don't, in the beginning, you don't bank on, it's going to get a whole bunch of views. And really, at my subscriber count at this point, I'm not expecting a massive onslaught of people to come flying in and think that it's so cool that they have to be here to witness it. Because I know that there's a lot of people out here doing this kind of stuff with the A10 builds and building RC planes as a hobby, which is something I love doing, and flying them into the ground. But I also like the experimental aspect. Throwing stuff out there that you're going, is this going to fly? Can this be lighter than air? Can it be something that actually works? Will it function like it's intended? And if it doesn't, will it be entertaining enough to go ahead and send it? Which is something I love doing. As you saw in one of my last videos, where that first wing with the wings being too short, and I knew they were, and I didn't have a rudder on it, so I went ahead and sent it anyway. But I kind of wanted to just address that situation when it comes to the content. When it comes to specific content like this, you either have to already have a large base where people are constantly waiting for your videos, or you have to just kind of put it out there and see who bites, and then try to find your audience. Your audience is key when it comes to this kind of thing. Now, I'm not up here acting like I know everything about content creation and the YouTube algorithm, but having to deal with it, I have learned a few things. And this video is going to be a prime example because it'll probably get low views unless people like the idea that they actually see me in the video, or the thumbnail looks good, or they're not bored with the content. And that's really a big struggle for some creators, because when you're doing it solo, when you're doing the actual content, and you're actually doing the filming, and you're doing the editing, and you're doing the designing of the next project, and you're planning everything out, and then you're having to make it appealing before you upload it, make a nice thumbnail, that kind of thing, decide whether or not you want to use AI to kind of make that thumbnail look good or pop or things like that. It can take up a lot of time. And so a lot of people will say, you should be posting shorts a lot because it keeps your channel active, which I try to do to keep people updated on most of the stuff that I'm doing, like the A10. The other drones that I have over here, if you'll follow me over here, I have the other drone that I was working on, which is this drone here. Now this is the 70 millimeter EDF drone that's going to run on the same 70 millimeter EDF engines that the A10 Warthog is going to run on. So we know that I basically just had to buy the same engine. Now I just have to buy 6 of them. So I got my servos in for this and got everything started. So this plane will be done soon, but I've got to get the 2 motors. I've got to get the landing gear's on the way. It's really cool landing gear. And this is the kind of thing that I do. And I'm getting off track. So let me kind of go back to what I was talking about. When it comes to content creation, this is the niche content that I'm talking about. No one's going to really type in, I want to see a 70 millimeter EDF drone. So what you're left with is trying to make the first initial visuals of what you're going to show the main focal point. And then you have to go back and go, let's film the content. And then once we find that initial point, that anchor point, where people are going to come in and go, I want to see what that is. So I'm going to watch the video from the beginning. I'm going to watch it till the end. You might get them to get to this point where you're flying it, and then they're gone. But you still got them to that point. So when it comes to content creation, from my experience with this type of content, that people aren't readily looking for, because honestly, it's about the shorts nowadays. These longer run videos don't typically do very well. And it's more because the shock and awe content, I always say it, it's the main staples that people are coming in for. And I hate to say it, it's the chaos, cleavage, or carnage. All right? And that's what people are coming in for. So most people will watch a video on the internet that was funny. Somebody doing something ridiculous, and they film it. And there'll be a whole slew of these shorts that people do, and then one female will jump on and react to the same exact videos, and everyone's going to watch those videos again. But they're going to be watching her video. You take me, for example, just a guy, right? Doing niche content, which is kind of out of the ordinary. And you have to build that audience over time. You have to build that loyalty from the people who are watching. And which is good in a sense. It may take longer, but what do you get out of it? You get quality subscribers. That's not a personal attack on individuals to say that they're not quality people. But the quality subscriber aspect is the aspect where you know someone's going to come back and watch the videos. They're waiting for your content. They're going through their daily lives, but when they see that notification pop up, they're like, yes, I get to see this. This is really neat. So that's what you're going for. And it sounds really harsh to say quality subscribers versus the ones that are just going in for the really quick dopamine fix and they're out. That is the hook when it comes to videos, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a subscriber that's going to stay. There's a portion of them that will. But for the most part, channels like that tend to last short run only. And then some of them that are in it for the long haul are actually doing the work, even if it is a short that's based on somebody else's work. Like, for example, I don't know how many channels that weightlifter or the deadlifter Anatoly has. But I can tell you that there's a lot of channels out there that take his content, they cut it down, rebrand it, and they put it back out there. And they bank off of his work. And for him, that's unfair. I find that lazy and unfair. I'm not going to show you anybody else's content, not without their permission, especially if it's something cool and it's related to what I'm doing and they say, yeah, go ahead and show it, then yeah, I'm good with that. Totally fine with that. If somebody asks me, I'd love to show your drone and talk about it, just send me an email. Let me know. Because, and then when it pops up on my copyright screen, I can go ahead and validate it and you're good to go, if that's the kind of thing you want to do. But this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. It's short-run, short-lived channels that are there just to make money quickly and then they die off. That's not a long-term plan for a channel. And I think that's where the divide is. The people who are going for people who are busy in their lives, so they have a short attention span on what they're watching, and they want to be able to get whatever they're after quickly. As opposed to those who are interested in actually sitting down at their computer and going, you know what, I want to see what's going on here. I want to watch and learn what I'm seeing. I want to enjoy the content, and then I want to see how it's done, and then I want to see the follow-up videos, and I want to continue from there, and I want to find out exactly how to do this or get into it myself. And that's really what I want to do, is make that kind of content for people. I want you to look at this and go, I want to get into that. This is the guy I can watch or go to ask specific questions. Yes, there's people out there that know a lot more than I do. But the more I learn as I make mistakes, as I experiment with different setups, the more I get to share with you. And that's the whole point. So yes, Is it easy content to find? Maybe. No, not really. Not unless I promote it. If I promote it, it's a different story. Then it puts it up in the feeds. But then people like to call that fake subscribers. But I'm not forcing anyone to subscribe to my channel. If I promote a video, then all I'm doing is telling the algorithm, hey, I'm going to give you some money. You're going to show my video on the feeds, on the up next, or whatever. It's always initially up to that person to press the button. Yeah, I'm interested in this kind of thing, and subscribe. Sometimes when YouTube tests specific videos with a certain group of people and it does well, then they push that video themselves. Why? It's in their best interest. Revenue is revenue. Not only for the creator, but for YouTube as well. If it doesn't do well with a group of individuals, or if it doesn't do well at all, and it doesn't get a specific set of, everyone talks about click-through rate. It really isn't about that. If you get the views and the watch time, YouTube likes that. Why? Because watch time is revenue, views are revenue. So that's what they look for. That's what they really look for when it comes down to it. And I'm going to wrap this video up because I don't want it to be too long, and I don't want everyone to get too bored of the whole thing. So I'm just going to say, find what you like to do. If it's something you want to do on YouTube, hammer it. Do it all the way. Even if it's not something you think someone's going to actively look up, make sure it's eye-catching enough in the beginning to where you set the hook. And then when you set the hook, reel them in. Show them how it's done. Then go back to the hook in a longer version. So you're showing them what they want to see. You're telling them how to do it so that the information gets out there. And then you're showing them the whole show at the end. And that, for me, so far has been the experience in dealing with content creation, with specific content that you know people aren't actively looking for. Because a lot of people are just scrolling. They're just scrolling. They're not looking for anything specific. And the shorts section of YouTube is going to outplay the long run videos because those shorts are so easy to get through. I just swipe, visually it looks good for me. I'm going to stay with it, watch it, and then eventually that person either likes the content enough to subscribe to the channel or at least like the video, and then they move on. But on the other side of that, with the long run videos, if you've got someone's attention and they're interested in your content, what you're going to get is a subscriber that sticks around. And that is the whole point. You want that subscriber to stick around. You want them to bring in more people when they share it that says, hey, this is really neat. So don't get discouraged. Don't give up. If you put out a video and it only gets a few views, let it bake for a little while. See what happens. See how much of it people are watching. Look at the analytics. Read them. What they're watching in the video, how much of it they're watching before the fall off is going to give you your key to what people are wanting to see. And that's going to help you. And in that, because of the type of person I am, I'm trying to help you. And at the same time, I'm helping myself because I'm sitting here figuring out, oh yeah, I should do that too. So it's not as if I know everything. It's not as if I know the entire algorithm by heart, or, I'm going to bank on the fact that they're not going to change it tomorrow. It's just what I know now. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for watching the video. And if you like what you see, please hit the bell after you subscribe. Make sure that your notifications are on so you get notified for the next videos, for the A10, for the Shrike Ultra drone, for the Shrike 70mm, which is what we're dealing with here. And of course, any other builds that I do in the future regarding any experimental fans or anything at all. We still have to do another bird strike on this fan here, so you don't want to miss that. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate you taking the time. If you made it this far, you are one of those people who want to learn from what they're seeing. And that's That's rare nowadays, unfortunately. It's rare. So y'all have a good one. I'll see you in the next video. And hey, peace out.